So I am a father of 4. And between me and my brothers, there are 9 and 9/10 children. One is coming in 2 weeks. And when you become a parent, your life drastically changes, but more so that your concerns change, and you realize that your job is to try and leave this place better than when you found it. But as I look around, the future is not looking that bright for our kids. Obesity is up, type 2 diabetes is up, tech addiction is now a thing, bullying, school shootings, suicide. And surprisingly, for the first time in American history, we are spending more money on bars and restaurants than we are on groceries. And I have a quote painted in my dining room: "All great change in America begins at the dinner table." Well, if that is true, but no one is eating there, then what? Then what? And so I have a crazy solution. Make dinner at home again together. Cutting edge common sense. Take that time to lead by example. Take that time to make things together. Take that time to teach your kids how to work together, how to effectively communicate, how to empathetically listen, how to manage a timeline. Could all of those skills come from making dinner? The National Institutes of Health did a study on 20,000 kids, and to summarize briefly, what they found was that kids who had between 5 to 7 meals together as a family, defined as breakfast or dinner because lunch is at school, were more likely to get A's and B's than kids that had 0 to 1 meals together. They then did a study on just dinner. And what they found with dinner was that kids who had dinner together around a table 5 times a week had drastically lower odds of engaging in high-risk behavior like drugs, tobacco, alcohol, violence, antisocial behavior, depression, and suicide compared to kids that had 0 to 1 dinners together as a family in a week. I'm going to pause there. Because we're sitting there and we're all looking for answers, and they're there. The answers are sitting right in front of us. This process of making dinner, it's in front of us. The habit that we should be teaching our kids day in and day out is there. And when I was 9 years old, my mom made dinner for us. I'm one of 3 boys. And you can imagine how crazy we were. And so she needed to go on a vacation. And so she left her husband and 3 sons for 7 days. And my dad needed reinforcements. So he called in his 3 brothers. And so it was 7 boys for 7 days. I don't want to say he slightly panicked, but he bought 4 dozen bagels and cream cheese, and everybody had to fend for themselves. And so by the 4th day, probably due to constipation, my youngest brother, Matt, who was 5, couldn't take it anymore. I cannot have another bagel and cream cheese. So he goes in the refrigerator, gets ground beef, cooks it on a stove, puts tomato sauce in it, makes mac and cheese, combines the two for our version of goulash in 1992, makes a salad, bakes some bread, serves the 7 boys at 5. This kid would not have his dinner habit broken. These skills were alive and well at 5 years old. And when you think about that, when you think about the skills that it takes to make a meal, could those be the skills to tackle any pursuit? How many people here have worked with someone that was not positive? A lot of hands. How many people worked with someone that didn't manage a timeline properly? A lot of hands. How many people work with people that are not effective communicators? Okay, I'm doing really well. Could the skills of making dinner together solve all of that? If you think about the skills required to make a meal, right? You have to come together. There's a common goal. We need to eat tonight. We need a plan. We need to organize. We need to multitask. We need to delegate. We need to execute. We need to adjust accordingly. We need to strategically improvise. We need to put out fires in life and in the kitchen because something's probably burning. Then we need to come together. We need to see how we did. We need to listen to feedback, right? Hopefully we enjoyed it so that we can then repeat that every day because you want to have dinner every single day. That process is the same process for any pursuit. It is the template to tackle any task. When we were growing up, we would not eat our vegetables. And so my mom came up with this salad dressing, and everybody loved it. It became famous amongst our friends. It did not matter where we went. Make sure your mom brings the salad dressing. For Christmas, give me your mom's salad dressing. And so I graduated, I got married, I moved out, still making her make me salad dressing in 2-liter bottles. I come home from work, this 2-liter bottle of salad dressing is missing from my house. You do not misplace a 2-liter bottle of salad dressing. So I start looking around the house. I start calling people. I get to this kid, hey man, random question, have you seen my salad dressing? Yup. Woke up this morning, was jonesing for it, knew the code to your house, came over, took it. Now I'm over at my house crushing a salad. Okay? So a couple things went through my head. 1, what kind of man steals another man's salad dressing? 2, this could be a business. So just like making a meal, I called up my brothers and family. We're bottling mom's salad dressing. This is going to be huge. It's 2009. It's a recession. Don't worry about that. And just like making a meal, we came together for a common goal. We planned. We organized. We executed. We put out fires regardless of how big, and I promise you there were fires along the way. And we enjoyed some component of that every day for the 9 years that we have been a business. And in doing that and checking in every night, and by the way, we have family dinner with 16 people every Sunday, we became the #1 organic salad dressing in the country. You never know where these skills that you are learning, this habit that is dinner, you don't know where it's going to go. Admiral McRaven said, if you want to change the world, make your bed. That seems well and good until you try and do that on a daily basis in the midst of our chaotic lives. But once you do it, and once it becomes a habit, what you realize is that that small sense of pride carries through the rest of your day to everything that you do. And it is such a small effort for such a large impact. And what I'm saying is something very similar, but I want to end our day with it. Small effort, large impact. If we want to leave this place better than when we found it, let's make dinner at home again together. And what's the worst that can happen by trying? You have a wonderful dinner with your family and engage in some meaningful conversation. Or if you don't want to do any of that, force feed your children bagels and cream cheese, and they'll end up doing it anyway. That's it.